My name is Dennis Dyack. I'm president of Silicon Knights. I'm here to talk about Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes for the GameCube. A lot of people may think, this is some kind of straightforward or something, but it's really not. We're throwing a lot of new content in. Bringing things over from Metal Gear 2 to Metal Gear 1 is not just straightforward. We have to create new things and do a lot of things differently because there's spaces in Metal Gear 1 that didn't exist in 2, and different things you can do in 1 that you couldn't do in 2, so you're bringing the gameplay over. So it's a lot of work. And the design of the levels in Metal Gear 1 were designed for the gameplay you can do in the first one. Once you start adding all these things, you have to change a lot. There's a lot of different ways now to finish some of the rooms and some of the levels compared to what you could do in the first one. I'll just take, say, one of the first rooms to the dock area, which was in the demo. You've got a set of lockers in the back there you didn't have before. So in the first game, if you knock someone out, you have to move the buy zone and try to hide them. This one, you can just throw them in the lockers. You can hang over the ledge if you're spotted by the guards, or if you're not spotted by the guards, and sort of hang there and walk by them. Because you can shoot in first-person mode and you couldn't before, it changes a lot of the mechanics, it changes a lot of the fights, a lot of the boss fights. Then we changed a lot of the mechanics for the boss fights because of these as well. So it's sort of a growing snowball change. And so we have to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb and say, with this new additional gameplay, does this stuff all work? And sometimes the gameplay, say, from Metal Gear 2 doesn't quite work the same, so we almost have like a 2.5 now for this product. On top of that, we've got all new cinematics, so that's all that stuff is being redone. The dialogue which we recorded, everything's been redone. The sound, the music's been redone. Steve Hennepin, who's worked with us since Legacy of Kain, actually, has redone the music, and it's got definitely a Metal Gear Solid feel, but it's all original. If you sit down in a sort of a Pro Logic setting, you're going to tell. You can tell. It sounds enhanced. It's nice. The best way to describe this game is it's got the spirit and the story of the first one, but there's a whole lot of new stuff in there. And we think that people who've played the first one are going to really love it, because they're going to recognize what's similar, but it's going to be totally new. People who haven't played it are just going to be blown away by the experience because the story is so strong. And, I really feel that Metal Gear Solid 1 had just such a huge story that it's really... It's one of the best stories I've seen, in video games. And, you take all the gameplay mechanics from Metal Gear 2, you think you got a really great, combination of things. I think all groups working together really collaborated a lot, really learned off each other. And I think the relationship itself is just as exciting as the game. So the fact that, Miyamoto-san's working with Kojima-san, and, we're all working together in a group to produce this one game, I think says a lot for the industry that, these kind of groups want to get together. I've said it before, Miyamoto-san's sort of like Aristotle, Kojima-san's kind of like Socrates, and this for us is kind of like, ooh, this is really great stuff, we get to learn a lot. In that perspective, I think the industry is moving forward on these type of collaborations, saying, content is what's important. We're moving forward, we're trying to, bring things to gamers that we think they're really going to appreciate. Kojima-san's group, I feel personally that their character artists are some of the best in the world. And I think our artists working with their artists have learned a lot, and I think people will see a progression, say from Eternal Darkness on characters to these characters. I think they're really good. We spent a lot of time, making it had to feel like Metal Gear Solid, and in the end, probably a couple months' work. We actually have something that when you play it, you're just like, yeah, that feels like Metal Gear. The Metal Gear series in general has had a tremendous amount of extras. And that it increased, changing costumes or, different levels of difficulty, all these kind of, that's all in there. And so there's a ton of stuff to explore. So we think people will be very, very happy with what's there. It's, it wouldn't be a Metal Gear game without that stuff, basically. But there was a rumor floating around that Metal Gear Solid 2 is actually incorporated in the game, and it is not. Sorry. I don't think people are going to look at it like it's a remake of an original. They're going to look at it like it's an original game, really. That's our perspective at this point. There's a lot there. So they will remember the spirit of what, and they might one day pop in PS1 to see what it looked like and flash back and forth. But, when they do that, they go, wow, what a difference. We're feeling pretty good about the way it's progressing right now, and I think people are pretty happy when they play it.